Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, why did I say it like that? Why did I sound nervous even though I knew what I was talking about? Or maybe you've noticed that some people speak very simply, yet they sound incredibly confident. So what's the difference? Often it's not intelligence, experience or knowledge, it's small communication habits. And today we're going to uncover 8 conversation mistakes that can secretly make you look insecure, even when you're smart, capable and have great ideas. Welcome to Mind Matters Expert. Confidence in conversation isn't about using fancy words or sounding overly smart. It's about clarity, calmness and believing your voice matters. But many people unknowingly develop conversation habits that make them appear insecure, even when they're intelligent and capable. These small mistakes can affect job interviews, work meetings, networking conversations, and even everyday interactions. The good news? Once you recognize these habits, they're surprisingly easy to fix. Mistake 1. Over-apologizing. Let's start with something very common. Some people begin almost every sentence with phrases like, "Sorry, but I think," "Sorry if this sounds stupid," or "Sorry to interrupt." Of course, apologizing when it's necessary is polite. But when you apologize too often, it weakens your message. It can make it sound like you don't believe your own ideas are important. A simple fix is to remove unnecessary apologies from your sentences. Instead of saying, "Sorry, I might be wrong," but try saying, "Here's another perspective," or simply, "I think we should try this approach." Before speaking, pause for a second and mentally remove the word sorry. You'll immediately sound stronger. Mistake 2. Talking too fast. Another habit that quietly signals insecurity is speaking too quickly. When people feel nervous, they often start rushing their sentences. They skip pauses, and sometimes their words start blending together. But confident speakers usually do the opposite. They slow down, they pause, and they allow their words to land. A helpful technique here is the 3-second pause rule. When you finish a sentence, pause for 2 or 3 seconds before continuing. That small pause makes you sound calmer, more thoughtful, and much more confident. Mistake 3 is constantly asking for validation. Here's another subtle mistake many people make. They constantly ask for reassurance while speaking. You've probably heard phrases like, "Does that make sense?" or "right," or even, "You know what I mean." Using these occasionally is fine, of course. But repeating them too often shows self-doubt. It can sound like you're asking permission for your own opinion. Instead, try stating your point clearly and letting it stand on its own. For example, instead of saying, "This strategy could increase sales," right? You could say, "This strategy could increase sales by improving customer retention." And then simply stop. Confidence often comes from how you end a sentence. Mistake 4 is interrupting yourself. Another conversation habit that can make someone appear unsure is interrupting themselves while speaking. You might hear someone say something like, "I think the issue is," "Well, actually, maybe not. What I meant was." This usually happens when a person starts doubting their thoughts in the middle of a sentence, and unfortunately, it makes the speaker sound uncertain. A better approach is to pause briefly before speaking. Take a second to organize your thought, then deliver your sentence clearly. Remember, a short pause doesn't make you look weak. In fact, pauses often signal confidence. Mistake 5 is over-explaining your point. Next, let's talk about something that happens when people feel insecure about their ideas. They begin over-explaining simple points. For example, someone might say, "I think we should try social media marketing because a lot of companies do it, and I read somewhere that it works, and maybe we can test it." The core message gets buried under too many explanations, and it can make the speaker sound defensive. A simple formula can help here. Think of it as point, reason, stop. For example, "We should invest in social media marketing because it expands our brand reach." And then stop talking. Sometimes less explanation actually sounds more confident. Mistake 6. Avoiding eye contact. Another powerful signal in conversations isn't even about words. It's eye contact. Avoiding eye contact can make someone appear nervous, uncertain, or even dishonest. But maintaining eye contact doesn't mean staring intensely. A helpful technique is something called the triangle method. When speaking with someone, gently shift your gaze between their left eye, their right eye, and their mouth. This creates natural eye contact without making the interaction feel awkward. Mistake 7. Filling every silence. Many people feel uncomfortable with silence, so they try to fill every pause in conversation. That's when words like, or basically start appearing everywhere. But confident communicators understand something important. Silence is not the enemy. Silence gives your words weight. When you finish making a point, pause for a moment. Wait 2 seconds. Let the other person respond. That pause can actually make you sound calmer and more composed. Mistake 8. Downplaying your achievements. Finally, there's one last habit that often surprises people. It's the tendency to downplay your own achievements. When someone compliments them, many people respond with things like, "It was nothing. I just got lucky. Anyone could have done it." While humility is a good quality, constantly minimizing your accomplishments can make you seem insecure. A better response is to acknowledge the effort you put in. For example, instead of saying, "I just got lucky," you could say, "I worked really hard on that project, and I'm glad it turned out well." That response is both confident and humble. So let me ask you something. As you listened to these 8 conversation habits, did you recognize yourself in any of them? Maybe you sometimes talk too fast. Maybe you over-apologize. Or maybe you downplay your achievements without even realizing it. Here's the important thing to remember. Confidence in conversation doesn't mean dominating the discussion. And it definitely doesn't mean sounding perfect. It simply means speaking clearly, respecting your own voice, and communicating with calm assurance. By becoming aware of these habits, you can gradually start changing them. And even small adjustments can transform how people perceive you in meetings, interviews, networking events, and everyday conversations. Now, here's a quick challenge for you. Think about your last conversation today. Which of these habits showed up? Was it talking too fast, over-explaining, asking for validation, or something else? Tell me in the comments. Which one are you going to work on first? And here's a simple exercise for the rest of your day. In your next conversation, try changing just one thing. Speak a little slower. Pause before responding. Or remove the word sorry. Notice how people respond differently. If you enjoyed this and want more insights on communication, psychology, and personal growth, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who could benefit from it, and subscribe to Mind Matters Expert. Because sometimes the smallest changes in how we speak can completely transform how the world hears us.